the lawful good paladin who desperately wanted to be evil. I've sat on this story for years, after browsing the Reddit for quite a while, and would love to vent it all out. The setup: new DM, Homebrew's 5e campaign for all new players, 7 of us, forbids making evil characters to start when it's not an evil campaign. Everyone agrees. Characters: Ranger, me, Bard, Sorcerer, Monk, Barbarian, Paladin, problem, Wizard. Paladin OG was a real douche to play any game with, TTRPG or otherwise, as he was the kind of person that singularly derived enjoyment from annoying or ruining the games for others. In TTRPGs, he self-inserted and took everything and said, done, I see personally, and would OC act out for it. Initially, he played his Paladin fine, albeit weird. He had a bad habit of approaching NPCs and giving them vague statements of warning, and never explaining himself, leading to a lot of unnecessary alarm and suspicion of the party. In his backstory, he wrote, he was a centaur that had a son and wife and died in the forest. Fire. So he loathed anything and everything that had to do with fire. This is relevant later. He also stated in his backstory, without reading any of the DM's lore about centaurs, in which they were peaceful and migratory, that he participated in centaur wars and had butchered babies and innocents, but was reformed now. This is also relevant because he constantly judged the party for disposing of hostile enemies and their eggs as baby killers, but would sit there and justify killing human babies for fun. As a centaur, he hated that the DM included ladders and doorways he could not fit through in her world, and would mope and become very passive-aggressive and would stop participating in anything when they showed up, even when characters would stay behind to hang out with him. By the way, he was a moose centaur, so he was unreasonably large. He constantly asked for other characters, despite taking the Oath of Ancients, tenets about love and happiness, yada yada, extremely appropriate and invasive sexual questions about their partners, I see, and when they would be dodgy or not go his way, he would punish them OOC and hate them IRL. This happened with a monk who he terrorized because he wasn't forthcoming with information. He could not accept that his character had an intelligence score of 8 and would metagame despite being told he would not know certain information. Example: there was a plague spreading that was turning people into zombies. This is high fantasy with no modern medicine. My ranger moved to action for a dying child that was literally vomiting blood and begging to see her parents again. Held the child as she died and got covered in her blood. Don't know how this diseases spread or how they work, as this world had never experienced that. He refused to go near her, told everyone not to touch her blood, and despite being corrected and told he has an 8 intelligence, on top of not being a healer, he insisted and refused to play it right. We caught much later that he was cheating nearly all of his rolls as well, especially when he would roll for his health upon leveling up. He claimed to have exclusively rolled 8s and aboves every single time for 9 levels. He never rolled in front of anyone, as we had a trust system in this group since we'd been friends for years and years and never played together before. But now we know better. This and him, beefing himself up only and never taking for the party, he would literally run off and only do 1v1s away from everyone using whatever dueling thing paladins get, made for encounters extremely hard. Okay, finally the meat of the story. We were in a cave down at the base of a canyon, investigating claims of a missing cleric. What we found was a succubus and a half-human child hoarding diamonds in an attempt to bring back the human parent who was kept in the tomb nearby. Combat happens. He's thrilled that he gets charms and starts fighting us. And we win and start investigating the room to find out this information. One of the items that we discovered was a ring, who the monk reads as being hella evil. So he leaves it alone as we plan to seal the room off with rocks after we leave. Catching that we're leaving it, the paladin runs back in and snatches the ring up. When we asked why, he said he wanted to cleanse it. Oh, see, we knew better. But I see we didn't. So our characters let it be. Cue the next several months of an evil entity within the ring reaching out to him and attempting to beguile him, despite us passing through several churches after he picked it up with insanely powerful clerics. He never, ever gave it up and kept this evil ring tied directly onto his holy symbol. This ring led to possess during boss fights and made him attack us. He loved this. Screwing with the party as a whole with illusions, made my ranger appear have an incurable plague that was ravaging the land. And eventually, it all came to a head when we fought a cult and he screwed us up due to a possession, and we nearly lost some party members. I see we found out he kept the ring. It corrupted his holy symbol, and it dimmed his paladin powers. We took the ring off him, and he yeeted into the jungle. But by then it was too late, as what he had been inside the ring the entire time was a powerful demon lord. The thing with the ring had gotten so bad that the point that I see as a party no longer trusted him, and took specific spells to fight him and kill him if we were to turn on us at any point. When this came up, OOC, he insisted he'd beat us all 1v6. He was really butthurt about his paladin powers, and after that refused to really help us in fights. During the fight with the Avatar of God the cultists were trying to bring back, he discovered that he would have to use a turn of movement to get across the huge room to be within striking range. He hated this, and so he never moved the entire fight and did not do a single point of damage to the creature. He was promptly looted the rooms thorough and claimed a staff that was tried to give to the monk, but he became extremely aggressive, OOC, like yelling and cussing at everyone, so he eventually dropped it. The staff had the evil god of fire symbol on it, and was a staff of fire. When he asked about the backstory with his raging over fire in the beginning of the campaign, he merely shrugged and said, "Got over it." The DM used an NPC very shortly after that. He liked to break the staff and take it from him, as it was the only way he would accept it being taken. We were on the east coast of the continent after a while, investigating some claims about the Elven King, when his dumbass finally prays to his god and asks for help. The god tells him that he must take a candle into the darkest place, light it, and fight the demon. He is given a literal candle for this, and soon after this, the demon appears and goads him into lighting it. He does, immediately thinking he's one-upping the demon, or that it's a magic candle and it won't burn out. Surprise! It was a regular candle, and the place we needed to go was all the way on the western side of the map. Weeks of travels, bless the wizard for being fire-based. This got him hated at the beginning of the campaign by the paladin, who cast endless flames on the castle to keep it from burning up. The next several months of sessions was fighting demons, trying to snuff out the candle and traveling to the place. We eventually fight the demon, in which we almost horribly lose. And soon after that, the player OOC left IRL because he moved, and that was his last session. DM, who is my partner, told me later that she had been in talks with him during this, in which she expressed that he would never choose to be evil, but would play it if it went that way. With the ring, and decided to make every single decision after that, and attempt to force the DM to make him evil. He also lamented that all the time that he would have loved to play a rogue instead and steal our things and harass us and essentially have the freedom to be more of a dick. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, do leave a like and comment. Do subscribe if you wish to help me. If you want to support me financially, check out my Patreon down below. Links to my Twitter and Discord as well in the same place. And once again, thank you, my hunters, for watching it, and I all hope you have a wonderful day, and may the good blood guide your way.